Hey, I'm Julie fei-fan Balzer, and in today's video, I'm going to show you a super easy Thanksgiving holiday dinner party technique. We're going to be making utensil pockets. So let's go. So each pocket consists of a large rectangle and a smaller rectangle that you layer together and then attach somehow, right? You could sew around here, you could staple it, you could glue it, whatever you wanted. My particular rectangle happens to be about 9.5 by 4.5 wide. So 9.5 the long way, 4.5 this way. And then the shorter piece is, you can see here, about 5.5, maybe a little bit higher at the tallest point. And then again, the same 4.5 wide. So obviously that they layer together. Now, of course, I did round the corners and add this little rounded edge. And this is a cut file that is free to Scan and Cut Club members. But you could make your own cut file. You could cut it by hand. You don't have to have rounded corners. You could just have, two rectangles. Easy peasy. And you can totally change the look by doing things like embellishing it. You can, mix and match your papers however it is that you want it to go. Now, to make my life easier, I did use a paper pack from Michaels. This was something I found on sale. It's their house brand Recollection, so everything sort of coordinates inside. And then they have some of these sheets that have kind of, I don't know, sayings, words or something on them. And that's how I made some of these pockets that actually have the sayings and the text on them. I just fussy cut them out of that piece of paper. I also was able to cut some of these embellishments out of one of the sheets that had lots of little things that you can cut out. So that's a way, again, to make coordination easy. You don't even have to go looking in your stash for anything. You can just use a single paper pack. You could also use hand-painted paper. You could also use fabric. But now I'm going to go ahead and put together all of my little pieces. And the thing I like about this is that these will all coordinate, but they won't match. So at my table, not everybody's going to have an identical little utensil pocket, but the whole table will be pulled together and they'll match because it's all from the same coordinating paper pack. One of the fun things I did is I made some pockets out of scraps. And I love how they turned out. Again, totally coordinating just all the little different pieces of paper I had left over. I just glued them right up against each other to create these scrappy pieces of paper. And then I just trimmed around the edges of the shape to reveal the final pocket shape. If you're going to add something dimensional like twine, I would recommend adding it before you attach the pocket part. I just think it's a little bit easier to manipulate. I think it's fun to add the little extra touches like the twine, or for this one, I'm going to be putting on a little star brad. It's those little things that take something that is, cute to something that is awesome. I did mix in a couple pieces of plain craft paper so that everything wouldn't totally be loud on loud. I just wanted the ability to have some of the pattern pieces stand out. And so, for instance, with this large piece that I cut out that says gather, on a piece of pattern paper, it's kind of too much. So I'm putting it onto this piece of craft paper where I think it'll be a little more subtle. And then as soon as I cut off the excess, but it makes for a lovely front to this pocket. You can see that there. For this piece, I fussy cut out the text, added this strip that says love you lots, and now I'm going to glue on this little gold button that I found in my stash. Again, one of the things that makes things look lovely and beautiful and oh so nice is when they don't actually match exactly, but they just look well curated together. Here's another example of a plain piece that I'm going to dress up with a combination of different pieces. Foam adhesive is another fun way to give some dimension and interest to your utensil pockets. So this little, I guess it's probably meant to be a note card for scrapbooking or something, but I'm not sure what to do with the lines in terms of this pocket. It doesn't, am I going to write there? So I rough cut an oval, and if you look, it's really roughly cut, but it about fits here, even though it's not perfect. I like that handmade touch. So that's going to go ahead and fill the space, but I'm going to get to keep the lovely gold border that I really, really like. So I'll just pop that into place. And then I've had this huge brad in my stash for probably a decade. It's just so huge and garish, and I wasn't sure when I would use it, but boom, it looks fantastic here and it fits right in, and it doesn't even look that crazy. So I love that. So I have stitched around the edges of my utensil pockets in order to seal them, totally optional, but the backs are kind of not great, partially because the stitching shows, but partially just they're plain white. So for extra bonus points, again, just to make it a little more pretty, I've taken and cut the second piece, the larger piece, a second time, and then I'm just going to glue it on the back so that you'll have this really nice look where the front and the back are both attractive, so that when people move it aside on their plates or whatever it is, they'd see something that really looks finished. So I hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. Love to hear your comments if you have any. And of course, check out my online classes at balzerdesigns.com. I make all kinds of artsy things really, really easy for you.